in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna is telling that there are bodily urges, there are mental urges, and if these urges are not properly attended to, they will not let a spiritualist, attain the stage of samadhi. You will see that most people in this world are considering themselves to be the body, identifying with the body, what you call as the Dehatma Buddhi. I am fair, I am black, I am beautiful, I am ugly, I am higher caste, I am lower caste, I am this, I am educated. So that kind of consciousness keeps them absorbed. Or they identify with the mind. So how to increase that inner awareness? What is inner awareness? Our outer awareness means considering oneself to be the body of a chemical bundle. Or considering oneself to be the emotional state which is the mind. So these two are superficial. The real inner awareness is understanding I am not the body, I am spirit soul. I am a spiritual spark, part and parcel of God, a beautiful spark of God. And by my side, the Supreme Lord is also residing in the same body. I am the resident of the body. Lord is the president of the body. Both are residing in this body. And I have a sweet loving relationship with Him, which is forgotten for millions and millions of births. So this is actually a knowledge about the inner awareness. So how do we begin with this knowledge? For that we need Svadhyaya. When you do the Svadhyaya, study of the Vedic literatures, it brings us to the sanity of the inner awareness. And there is a lot of information about this in the Shastras. For example, a boy was walking on the road and he happened to see his old school friend. He asked him, hey, I was your friend in 5th standard. Now 10 years have passed. How are you? So he saw the boy standing in front of a big bungalow. He thought he is the owner of the bungalow and he saw him having a Mercedes Benz. But then he very soon came to know the boy is not the owner, he is the driver. So the boy and the Mercedes Benz car, both were under the control of the Malik, who is the owner of the house, isn't it? Similarly, the Jiva and the body which he is driving, both are under the control of Ishwar. So that is why matter, spirit and controller of both. So now the driver knows, this boy, his friend asked him, can we go for a joy drive? He said, I can't take you because the car doesn't belong to me. I have to take permission if I have to use the car for myself, which I cannot do on my own. On the other hand, he also knows when the Malik comes and sits in the car, when he starts the car, the destination will be decided by whom? Owner, yeah. And the air conditioned temperature inside the car? Isn't it? And whether songs will go on, lecture will go on, what will go on. So, he clearly knows this. Similarly, are we clearly aware that in my body, my Malik is sitting, my Lord is sitting, and this body has to be conducted according to His instruction or the instruction of my impure mind? Lord's instruction. Read the 6th chapter, first 5 verses. Prabhupada writes in the purport, ideally a soul should take dictation from the super soul, not from his impure mind. Uddared atmanatmanam atmanam avasadayet atmaivahi atmano bandhur atmaiva ripuratmanah bandhur atmatmanastasya yenatmaivatmana jita anatmanastu shatrutve vartet atmaiva shatruvat. He is saying your mind can be your best friend when you don't listen to the mind. How? Then you listen to the super soul, then your mind is best friend. But if you are going to listen to the impure mind, you are going to be slapped and whipped and kicked and punched. So he says, don't take dictation from the mind, take dictation from the super soul. So this is taught in the books like Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So while I am a conditioned soul, trapped in this material body, how would I should deal with the mind? There are 3 solutions Krishna gives in Gita. One is 2.14, Matra Sparshastu. He says that, tolerate the summer and winter. For example, somebody says, oh, summer is too hot, I cannot chant. Winter is too cold, I can't get up. Then when will you do spiritual life? Summer also you can't do, winter also you can do. Just tolerate and go on with your spiritual life. Winter is cold, Forget about the cold, take bath and come and join. Summer is too hot, tolerate it and go on, he says. Another place, Krishna is telling, when these urges are pushing us, understand that these urges are going to, if you are going to respond to them, they are going to destroy you. There are two types of urges, legitimate urges, illegitimate urges. Legitimate urges, you want to pass urine stool, no problem, you can do it. They are legitimate urges, correct? No? And there are illegitimate urges explained in 18.38. You will hear that. Vishayendriya samyoga jaddadagre amritamiva parinamo vishopamam tat sukham rajasam smritam. The rajasika urges, like the lust, anger, greed, they are gateways to hell. If you are going to fulfill those urges, then they will make sure you are sent to hell. So those urges should not be fulfilled. If you try to fulfill them, tushpurena analena. The more you feed it's like feeding petrol in fire. Yeah, those urges are going to grow further and further. So some urges have to be restrained and some urges have to be given vent. Those are very clearly explained in the scriptures. Krishna explains that in the Gita also. And also he says, if you have the enjoying mentality in Gita, third chapter of Gita, God explains, sanctioned, sanctified, regulated. That's the method given. Somebody has the urge somebody has the lust or urge, okay, then there is a system of marriage. Then there is a system of husband and wife accepting vivaha yajna and then engaging in devotion service. And not leading life extravagantly but in a moderate way. So in this way, you will find for the urges, there is a route given, how to deal with them. The whole purpose of this is what? Keep the body and mind calm, cool, collected. Even in Yama Niyama, you will find in the Ashtanga Yoga, the 10 items which are given, they are given to keep the body and mind completely on the ground level. So that then the soul can focus on higher inner awareness, higher goals of life. So by studying the Svadhyaya, by studying the literature, so the Vedas give the blueprint for how a human being should lead a life in this world. Don't be foolishly remaining with outer awareness like the cats and dogs. Awaken the inner awareness. How? By studying the Svadhyaya. That's the very first thing. Then after the Svadhyaya, the Svadhyaya is best done when you come in Satsanga, we call it. Now Satsanga, what is Satsanga? Satsanga is actually association with those people who will take you in the direction that the soul wants to go ultimately. And Asatsanga is association of those people who will derail you. They will derail the train. Or they will deviate you. For example, once 4 boys want to go to Bombay for Bhagavatam class in Chopar temple. 4 class they left. So in that, 2 boys were interested, other 2 were not so interested. But they were in the same car. They went up to Lonavala and then the other 2 boys, not interested boys, they said, hey, let us take a detour and just see the waterfalls and come. Then we will go. And finally, by the time they went for the waterfalls, they drank some air. By the time they came out, they reached Bombay exactly at the end of the Bhagavatam. Radheshyamdas Bhagavatam ki, it got over. They were there. So in this way, we all, so Satsanga is association of those people who will not deviate us, but who will ultimately take us to take us back home, back to Godhead. Those type of people who are serious, sincere, strict. So we need association of such kinds of people. So we have the Satsanga, and then we become motivated to do Svadhyaya, correct? No? And what is the sadhana? Like the mantra japa, or the morning aratis, we do mantra, we do puja, we also do vandana, offering prayers to Lord. So these kind of things are activated, the sadhanas are activated. The main purpose of the sadhana is, tune to the frequency of the Supreme. That's the purpose of the sadhana. Like we are in a lower frequency, God is at a higher frequency. God's thinking and our thinking, how much difference we can see. He always sees all jivas with the eyes of love. Now we see jivas in a very opportunistic manner. So we have to elevate our vision to God's vision, tune to His frequency, not remain in our low class frequency, correct? No? So to tune into Lord's frequency, this kind of mantra japa increases in our inner awareness. It increases inner awareness brain. Who am I? Who is Lord? And what is Lord's nature? What is my nature? and how small I am, how great Lord is. So these thoughts are activated when one does the mantra japa, or offering a prarthana, offering a puja, for the Lord, offering namaskara, and when you go to the temple, do pradakshina, all these activities. So these spiritual activities, the sadhana, in a regulated manner, in a regular manner, in a daily manner, this is going to increase our, both it increases inner awareness, and earlier I told you, Svadhyaya gives you inner awareness, whereas sadhana gives you inner connection. It gives you, it takes you from your frequency to whose frequency? Lord's frequency, and the pure devotee's frequency, at least for some period of time. Then again you come down to ground level, again you climb up. Keep on going up, down, and gradually a stage will come and you will never come down. Prabhupada says, stay high forever. Isn't it? So we can go to that. So that is very important. So when you go to Satsanga regularly, or when you stay with devotees, Satsanga, then the desire for Svadhyaya comes. Then when the Svadhyaya is done very nicely, then there is desire for Sadhana. Then because Svadhyaya gives you knowledge of inner awareness, whereas the Sadhana gives you actually the inner awareness, which is your tuning to Lord's frequency. That sadhana can do. And what supports this sadhana is a seva. What is seva? Seva means using our body and mind with the eyes of compassion towards other suffering souls and extending the Lord's love for the jivas. That is seva. So generally our body and mind they look at the world in a competitive manner. How to beat down the other living entities and climb on their heads. That is the mentality of most people in this world. Whereas when you do seva, seva is actually voluntary service. One is entering with body, mind, words. And also extending Lord's compassion for the world. Like we are going yesterday evening, we are distributing Prabhupada's books, isn't it? So we are trying to give the Lord's grace to the jivas. Correct? Now that's actually called seva. You receive the grace, you become nourished, and you give the same grace to the suffering souls. That is actually called service. Serving the Lord, serving the jivas, and with the intention of helping them, uplifting them, purifying them, bringing them closer to the Lord. And we also go closer to the Lord, bringing Lord closer. This is actually seva. So these four are the four pillars of spiritual life. They are very important pillars. So that is the reason why we have the center, voice center. Student center means first thing is Satsanga. Otherwise, staying in the hostel, what kind of ideology and blueprint you get. Isn't it? They prepare you as a two-legged animal, that's all. Prabhupada called schools and colleges as slaughterhouses, spiritual slaughterhouses, isn't it? But the satsanga of staying with devotees, like-minded devotees, that satsanga is what gives us the right blueprint of the inner awareness. What will lead us to inner awareness is a Svadhyaya, but the Svadhyaya cannot be done without Satsanga. Satsanga is the association of like-minded people who are fixed up, who are determined, who are focused, who are undeviated, and whose convictions have come to a point where they have no looking back. We need association of such people. Then we are going to march ahead in spiritual life. So Satsanga gives inspiration for Svadhyaya, and Svadhyaya gives inspiration for Sadhana. And after doing some amount of sadhana, one develops a desire to do more and more seva. Or if somebody first did service, but that service is often not accompanied by inner awareness. That is often done because somebody told me to do, or I have some passion to do. But when we do this other three, then the service becomes imbued with the devotional mindset. And that service is going to purify us much more faster. And amongst all these things, I told you that chanting of the holy name is the one which helps us to tune with the frequency of the Supreme. That is why Prabhupada went to the park and started with chanting Hare Krishna. Because somebody is able to resonate with the singing of the Mahamantra, chanting of the Japa, they already started tuning into the frequency of the Lord, and all other things come very easily, very naturally. Harinam Prabhu ki Jai.